Supergirl was supposed to be DC's momentum movie. Not the biggest movie in the universe. Not the final test of James Gunn's entire plan. But at minimum, it was supposed to prove one thing. DC could finally expand again. Then opening weekend happened. Supergirl came in with about 38 million domestic, around 68 million worldwide, and a reported budget near $170 million. That is not just a soft launch. That is a warning flare. For a smaller movie, maybe you can spin those numbers. For a superhero franchise builder, that math gets ugly fast. And the worst part is, this did not happen in a dead weekend. Toy Story 5 was sitting right there, eating the whole room. In its second weekend, Toy Story 5 pulled around 70 million domestic, and it was already sitting around 585 million worldwide. So casual audiences had a choice. The safe nostalgia event with Woody and Buzz, or a Supergirl spin-off from a DC universe they are still trying to understand. That is the first real problem. Supergirl needed urgency. Toy Story already had it. And when audiences do not feel urgency, they do the most dangerous thing possible for a big-budget movie. They wait. They wait for reviews. They wait for clips. They wait for streaming. They wait for someone else to tell them this actually matters. And the reviews did not exactly rescue it. Supergirl landed with mixed critical reaction, a B- cinema score, and reports that the movie was shortened after test screenings. That matters. A movie like this needed people walking out saying, "No, trust me, you have to see this." Instead, the reaction felt closer to, "It's fine." And fine is box office poison when the budget is this big. But the real issue is deeper than one weekend. Supergirl did not flop just because people hate Supergirl. That is too easy. The bigger issue is that DC tried to sell a side character event movie before the audience fully trusted the new universe. Batman sells himself. Superman sells himself. Joker sells himself. Wonder Woman proved she could become an event when the moment was right. Supergirl is different. She can absolutely work, but she needs a clean mainstream pitch. She needs people who do not read comics to instantly understand why this movie is special. And that is where DC ran into trouble. To comic fans, a cosmic revenge story with Krypto and Lobo sounds cool. To casual viewers, that can sound like homework. It sounds like Chapter 2 of a universe they barely finished Chapter 1 of. That is the scary part for DC. Superman gave the reboot a pulse. It did not magically erase years of confusion. Audiences still remember the Snyderverse fights. They remember Black Adam. They remember Shazam 2. They remember The Flash. They remember Blue Beetle. They remember Aquaman 2. Then suddenly, they were told everything was starting over again. Even when the new plan is better, trust does not come back overnight. Marvel at its peak had the opposite problem. People watched characters they barely knew because they trusted the machine. Guardians of the Galaxy could become an event. Doctor Strange could become an event. Ant-Man could become an event. The brand itself created confidence. DC is not there yet. DC still has to earn every ticket one movie at a time. And Supergirl just proved that. This was supposed to show that the new DCU could expand beyond Superman. Instead, it raised a much scarier question. Can this universe survive without Superman and Batman carrying the room? Because if every lesser-known character needs perfect reviews, perfect marketing, perfect timing, and zero competition just to survive, that is not a cinematic universe yet. That is a fragile reboot with expensive side quests. And to be clear, this does not mean Supergirl can never work. It does not mean audiences are done with DC forever. It means the strategy has to change. You cannot price every character like an automatic event. You cannot assume the logo alone sells the ticket. You cannot ask audiences to care about the wider universe before they feel emotionally locked into the foundation. Supergirl's biggest problem was not one bad decision. It was the budget. It was the timing. It was the mixed response. It was Toy Story 5 taking the casual crowd. It was superhero fatigue. And most importantly, it was DC's damaged trust still sitting in the room. That is why this opening matters. Supergirl was supposed to prove DC could fly outward. Instead, it proved the studio still has to rebuild upward. One strong Superman movie is a start. It is not a blank check. And now the lesson for James Gunn's DCU is painfully simple. Before DC can sell the universe, it has to make every chapter feel impossible to skip. Because Supergirl did not just underperform. It exposed the one problem DC still has not fully solved. The audience is willing to come back. But they're not willing to come back blindly. Opening weekend, budget, Toy Story 5 comparison, Rotten Tomatoes, cinema score, and test screening trim details are based on current AP/EW box office reporting.